Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Gulfstream Park here on Sunday. It is April the 1st, 2018. I'm going to look at the Rainbow Six from Gulfstream, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. The places I looked at races for this weekend is kind of amazing. Started off with France, England, America, the Middle East, from Maidan, from Japan, from Hanshin. It's global racing I cover. So, today's races from Gulfstream are very nice, the Rainbow Six. But remember, you have to follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. I think you know that already. But let's look at the Rainbow Six now. It's a massive carryover. I think it's very hittable. I think. So gonna look at races 7 through 12. Race number 7 from Gulfstream Park. It's a main claim race. Purse $28,000. It's for maidens, 3-year-olds here, going for a claim price of $12,500. Field of 15 horses, but the 15 isn't also eligible, so 14 will go with the distance of ground here of 1,200 meters, or 6 furlongs on the Gulfstream main track. Today's the final day of the championship meeting, starting on Tuesday, I believe it is, or not Tuesday, Thursday. They start the regular summer meeting, spring summer meeting, which goes on from now until about now until September, late September, early October, which is kind of a little bit too long for my liking, but some people might like it. But to start off the Rainbow Six here, I like 3 horses. Those 3 horses are going to be the 1 horse 40 Phantoms, the number 4 horse here City Edition, and the number 9 horse here Shackleson. So 1, 4, 9 to begin the pick 6 for me. Number 1, 40 Phantoms I like a little bit. 7-2 Nick Juarez is on this one. Trio colt by Poseidon's Warrior. His horse has only had 1 start under his belt, and it was a disaster trip. That came on the 9th of March at Gulfstream, 6.5 against State Bred's main special weight 47. He finished 6th by 19 3/4 lengths that day. Broke okay that day, but just stalked the pace setters and just kind of hit the wall. That race was a very tough run. I think dropping all the way down to this quality group of horses with a good post resume, I do think this horse should run well. Has a decent workout since then. The 25th of March, which was last Sunday at Gulfstream, 3-furlong workout, 37 1/5 of a second. I think it was a decent workout, 9th best out of 23. With the step down in class, I think he could get a piece of it at the end, so he'll be used on my ticket, along with the number 4 horse here, City Edition. 3-year-old gelding here by Cities at 5-1. Edgar Prado gets the leg up on this one. This horse's most recent outing came about 2 weeks ago now on the turf here at Gulfstream, or what they call the turf, of course, because it doesn't look like one. The 15th of March Gulfstream, 7 1/2 furlongs in main 16. This horse finished 5th by 8.5 lengths. Just stalked that day and didn't have the best of starts, and really just never had a good closing kick at the end. It wasn't his day to win against those quite tougher turf races here at Gulfstream. But before that sprinting at Gulfstream, maiden 25, 6.5 on the 3rd of March locally. This horse finished 3rd by 8.5 lengths, and again, it was a little bit wide, but was closing up a little bit at the end. It wasn't a bad race that day, but his start before it was really bad at Gulfstream. Maiden 25, 6 furlongs on 19th of January. This horse finished 5th by 31 and a quarter lengths, not 13, 31 and a quarter lengths. It just was really with a quick pace early on, and then just hit the wall completely. Wasn't her day to win. It's just a little bit too early for this horse to run there. But his start before at Gulfstream was very nice, going 7/8 of a mile, 15th of December, maiden 25. Horse finished 3rd by 7.5 lengths. Was with the leaders early on, and then just kind of the other horses took off. This horse just couldn't go off with them. But it was a decent race. I think she's with the right group of horses here. Back to dirt at 5-1 with a good poster. I think this horse also could get a piece of it at the end. Another horse I like here is the number 9 horse Shackleson, 6-1. If I had to give you a top pick out of all 3 of them, I think it would be this 9 horse Shackleson. This 3-year-old gelding by Shackelford. Avi Medina's on this one. This horse has only had 2 starts on turf. She's making her dirt debut today. I don't think that should be a problem because she's bred to go on dirt and she's trained quite well on it. But this horse's most recent outing came on the 25th of February at Tampa Bay, a mile and 1/8, 1,800 meters in a maiden 32. This horse finished 7th by 10 3/4 lengths. Was just stalking that day, and at the top of the stretch, this horse tried to take off but got bumped and then just really knocked the horse's momentum off, weakened out of it. It just wasn't her day to win at the end. But I think today, cutting back to a 6-furlong distance to dirt, which this horse is bred to go for, I do think this horse will run well. Start before the 11th of February at Tampa, 1 mile, 16 meters, maiden 32. This horse finished 3rd by 5 1/4 lengths that day, and stalked most of the race. Couldn't catch him at the end, but it wasn't a bad running. like I said, I like this horse is coming to dirt for the first time. Good, well, not the best opposed to her, but I think this horse could overtake it. There's a lot of cheap speed, I think, in this race, so watch out. So to recount my bets for the 7th from Gulfstream Park, first leg of the Rainbow Six, I'm going to go with the number 1 horse, 40 Fathoms. I'm going to go with the 4 horse, City Edition, and I'm going to use the 9 horse, Shackle Sun also. 149 in race number 7 from Gulfstream for me in the pick 6. So now let's get on to race number 8 from Gulfstream. The 8th race, it's claiming 16,000, purse $29,000. It's for 4-year-olds and upwards. Field of 9 horses here going the distance of ground of about 1,500 meters, or the distance of ground of about 7.5 furlongs on the Gulfstream Park so-called turf course. 1,500 meters, 7.5 furlongs, and this is a very wide open race. I'm going to go many deep in this one. Well, I'm going to go 4 deep. Well, that is many deep, but I'm going to use the 1 horse, Raised a Bar. I'm going to use the number 3 horse, Bowtie Affair. I'm going to use the 4 horse, The Bull, and I'm going to use the 5 horse, Megiv. So 1, 3, 4, 5 for me here in race number 8 from Gulfstream. First horse I'll be talking about is number 1 horse, Raised a Bar. 6-1 here. Jose Batista is on this one. This horse's most recent outing came about 3 weeks ago now here at Gulfstream. March the 10th, mile 16th on a turf course and claiming 16. This horse finished 5th by a length that day and just stalked that day up until the stretch run, and then the other horses just got to this horse. A very tough race. I think coming back to 7.5 furlongs with another good post draw, I do think this horse should run well. Before that Gulfstream, mile 16th, claiming 16, this horse finished 10th by 14.25 lengths and had a wide post draw that day. Was wide and was really just never there. When you don't want to be wide on the turf courses here at Gulfstream, it wasn't his day to win. But before that, the 21st January Gulfstream, mile 16, claiming 16, this horse won by 2.25 lengths. Wide post draw, saved a little bit of ground, and then took off clearing the stretch. Very nice victory for this horse. This horse was running here in New York last summer, and some very tough lounge races, and was doing, well, wasn't really showing up in those allowance races, but was showing up in the claiming races at the end of the year decently at Aqueduct. It's been going down the class ladder a lot. I think in this spot he should run well. At 6-1, he's a definite use on my pick 6 ticket, along with the number 3 horse here, Bowtie Affair, 6-year-old gelding by Kiss the Kid. Luis Saez is on this one, the leading rider of this meeting. Most recently, this horse had a start 16th of February Gulfstream, 7.5 optional 16 claimer. This horse finished 7th by 9.25 lengths that day. Just stalked that day and really just never had a run at the end. It wasn't his day to win. He should have ran a lot better than he did that day, but he's with a new trainer now, Angel Rodriguez, who is having an okay meeting. It's not bad. Start 4 of this horse ran on the 25th of January at Gulfstream, 1 mile optional 16 claimer, finished 3rd by 3.25 lengths again that day. He was just stalking the pace that day, and just, the other horses just took off in front of him. He just couldn't catch him. And then here in New York on the 2nd of December at Aqueduct, mile 16 meters, claiming 25. He finished 3rd by 2.5 lengths. Again, stalked, but didn't have a run at the end. With a firm ground here today, hopefully this horse takes off, because he's going to be stocky. He has a good post draw. Watch out for this horse at the end. Another horse I like to talk about is the 4 horse, The Bull. 3-1, 6-year-old gelding by Loop de Vega. Miguel Vasquez is on this horse, getting blinkers off, and that's a smart decision, because this horse last time out with blinkers for the first time and only time ever just ran absolutely shit. That came in option 25 claimer here at Gulfstream, mile 16th, February 22nd. Horse finished 6th by 5 lengths, was sent off to the lead that day and just went too fast, hit the wall completely. You thought there was a pace meltdown in the Florida Derby yesterday. There was a pace meltdown in this race last time out. He just really never got into it at the end, went a little bit too fast. If this horse wants to win today, he'll have to slow down on the front end or just stalk, not duel. But before that, and plus, blinker should help also. But start before the 17th of January at Tampa Bay, mile and 8th, 18 meters, start a lounge race. Horse finished 3rd by 3.5 lengths. Wide post draw, and just was a little bit wide that day, and just didn't have the best runs. He's lucky he didn't finish way out of it, because the other horses that day didn't really have a lot of runs either. But it just wasn't his day to win. And then 25 claimer here at Gulfstream, 7.5 December the 20th. Horse had a decent 3rd place finish by 11 lengths. A little bit too fast on the front end, just couldn't get that final few strides of the race, but other than that, ran well. I like this horse here, so he'll be used also, along with the number 5 horse, Megiv. 4-1, Edgar Zayas is on this one. 5-year-old horse by Trap Shot. Horse's most recent outing came 3 weeks ago now, on the 17th of March at Gulfstream. 7.5, claiming 16. This horse finished second by 1.5 lengths that day, and was closing up well that day after just tracking the leading pairs. It wasn't a bad run. Before that 24th of February at Gulfstream, mile 16th, claiming 16. He finished second by 3/4 of a length that day, and again was quite out of it, but had a great turn of foot at the end. Wasn't a bad handing, and then at Gulfstream, 7.5, 3rd of February, claiming 16. Horse finished by 6 lengths. From an outside post position, Zayas sent this horse to the front end and then just weakened out of it. It had to be used too much early on in the race, but I think with a good post draw here today, this horse should run well. 4-1, if I had to give you a top pick in this race, this horse would probably be my top pick. So to recap my bets for the 8th from Gulfstream, gonna use the number 1 horse, Raised the Bar, in my pick 6 ticket. I'm gonna use the number 3 horse, Bowtie Affair, in my pick 6 ticket. I'm gonna use the 4 horse, The Bull, and I'm gonna use the 5 horse, Mega Eve, also. So 1, 3, 4, 5 for me here in race number 8 from Gulfstream Park. So now let's get on to race number 9, and time for me to have a drink break. It's coffee, by the way. Been talking for 10 minutes, and my throat's not all there this weekend. I've been speaking a lot, nice and cold, fresh iced coffee. Weird thing, I like when I make coffee myself, I always drink it warm, but if I always get coffee out, it's always iced coffee because it just tastes better. Plus I buy very expensive coffee beans, and if I put in, it tastes a lot better warm than it is cold. So it's sacrilegious if I make my coffee cold, which I make homemade. That's what happens when you spend $15 for coffee grinds. But today's 9th race from Gulfstream Park to the regular scheduled program now, the 9th race from Gulfstream. It's an allowance optional 35 claimer, or starter optional 35 claimer, whatever. Purse $33,000. It's for fillies 3-year-olds, which never start for a claim price of $25,000 or less, or an optional claiming price of $35,000. Field of 9 horses, but the 9 horse is main track only. Only 8 could go 1,600 meters or 1 mile on the Gulfstream Park so-called turf course. 1,600 meters, 1 mile, and like I said, I showed the diagrams. Just give me a second to look down at my notes. Rails at 72 feet also, so it's the inner portion of the turf course. My top pick in this race, I like the 2 and 3 horse here. Well, I like both of them. I can't give you a top pick out of the both of them because I think they're both just as good. So 2, 3 for me here in the pick 6. The first horse I'll be talking about is the number 2 horse, Marvelous Kitten, 5-2. This 3-year-old filly by Kitten's Joy. Luis Saez is on this one. And this horse has run quite well his last few since dropping down the class ladder. His most recent outing came on the 22nd of March, so last Thursday now, so on a quick turnaround of 10 days. Gulfstream Park, 1 mile, optional 50 claimer. This horse finished second by head, and that day just stalked the pace that day. Had the lead in the stretch, but got overtaken right before the wire. But this horse ran a decent race that day. Wasn't a bad outing with first-time blinkers. Before that, in the Mrs. President's Day Stakes at Gulfstream, 7.5 furlongs, February the 17th, horse finished second by 1 1/4 lengths, and from a wide post draw, sat back early, but closed up well at the end. Again, this horse normally sits closer to the pace, but that day went quite back, but closed up well at the end. Just missed. Very respectable run. And then the 31st of January at Gulfstream, mile 16, main 20 claimer. This horse won by 4 1/4 lengths. Stalked that day from a wide post draw, and took off well at the end. Very nice victory. She's been going down the class ladder a lot. She's into a lower division here today. I think she should run well. 5-2. I know it's not the best price, but you're gonna have to take it. There's other prices later on and before that you could hopefully hit to get a better payout at the end. But I like this horse here, along with the 3 horse, 4Ks. 4-1. Ira Ortiz Jr. is on this one. This horse's most recent outing came on the 8th of March at Gulfstream. 1 mile, option 35 claimer. Almost same exact conditions as today. This horse finished 5th by 3.5 lengths. And, from mid-pack post-draw, it didn't have the best of trips that day. It was in traffic. Closed up a tiny bit at the end, but it wasn't enough to win. Just had a lot of trips. It was just not the best of trips that day. Before that, 2nd of February at Gulfstream, 1 mile, option 35 claimer. Horse won by half length. Stalked that day, got the lead, and had a nice run that day, an all-around decent running, and then a Gulfstream 1 mile optional 25 claimer. Horse finished third by 3/4 length. Wide poster, was wide during the race, and just, took a lot out of her at the end. Really couldn't keep up with them at the end. But, I think this horse coming here today with a good poster, with a stalking position. I like this horse in the spot, so watch out. So to recount my bets for the ninth from Gulfstream Park, gonna go with the 2-horse Marvelous Kitten. Gonna use the 3-horse 4Ks also. 2-3 for me here in race number 9 from Gulfstream Park. So now to get on to race number 10, the 10th race. It is a maiden special weight purse, $80,000. You don't see that a lot here in South Florida, but an $80,000 maiden special weight purse for maidens 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 8 horses going the distance of ground of 1,600 meters, or we're back to the dirt of 1 turn, 1 mile. And this is the race my single comes into. I could have made the ticket, a lot. The ticket would have cost a lot more if I went too deep in this race. And, I feel very confident in this single here. That's going to be the 3-horse slot. If I had the extra money, I would have used the 1-horse Fitzwillie also. But every time I went back to him, I got nervous about him. But I'm very confident in the 3-horse slot as a single and a top pick here. 8-5, John Velazquez, getting blinkers off, which I think will be the key to this horse's victory. Real gelding by Candy Ride. Horse's most recent outing came on the 10th of February at Gulfstream Park. Mile 16th, main special weight 43,000. This horse had a very good second place finish, where this horse broke from 13 out of 13 going mile 16th at Gulfstream Park, which is just a shit post draw. This horse finished second by 1 1/4 lengths. Went straight to lead from the break and set it for most of the race. Got caught right before the wire, but just ran a very nice run. Before that, on the slop at Gulfstream, mile 16th, main special weight 43. Horse finished second by 2 1/4 lengths. Again, sat second most of the race. Couldn't catch the winner, but it was a decent second place finish. And then October the 7th at Keeneland, mile 16th, maiden special weight 64. This horse finished second by a length. Set the pace, just got caught right before the wire, but ran his heart out. I do think the 1-turn mile should really be up this horse's alley. Gets a good post draw here today. He's been training well. The ideal single for me. So watch out for this horse. So to recap my bets for the 10th from Gulfstream Park, gonna go with the number 3 horse Slot in my pick 6. So now to get on to race number 11 from Gulfstream Park. The 11th race, we're almost there. We have 2 more races to go. The 11th race, it's an optional 25 claimer, purse $85,000. It's for 4-year-olds and upwards. Never won a race other than main claim starter or restricted allowance race, which never won 2 races, or an optional claim price of $25,000. Field of 10 horses here going the distance of ground of 1,700 meters, or 1 mile and 1/16 on the Gulfstream Park turf course. Rails at 72 feet, so they'll be using the outer portion of the, and shall I say this again, so-called turf course, because it doesn't look like a turf course anymore. It kind of looks like, how do I say it? It kind of looks like a beach with some grass on it, or seaweed, because it looks so it just doesn't look so fresh. Here in New York, the grass looks a lot fresher, today than it does in South Florida. But, that's what happens when you race on the turf course 10 months out of the year. But they are redoing the turf course, so hopefully it will stay green starting next December throughout the winter. But here in race number 11 from Gulfstream Park, I'm going to go 3 deep here in the pick 6. I'm going to go 1-2-8. 1-2-8 here in race 11 from Gulfstream. First horse I'll be talking about is number 1 horse, Bold Daddy. 7-2. Tom Pletcher trains this one. John Velazquez gets the leg up. This horse's most recent outing came on the 23rd of February at Gulfstream. 7.5 in the Star Lounge race 5,000. Horse did everything right. Won by 2 1/4 lengths. Broke on top in a field of 5 horses and just won very nicely. Slightly drifting at the end, but it was a very easy victory. Before that maiden 35 at Gulfstream, 1 mile February the 1st. Horse won by a half length. Didn't set the pace that day. Sat back early, closer to the back of the pack, but was a little bit wide at the stretch, but then took off clear. Very nice victory for this horse at the end. And then first crowd came on the inner turf course at the spot, Saratoga, 23rd of July, maiden 40 going a mile. Horse finished 4th by 3 1/4 lengths. Broke from 6 out of 12 that day. Didn't have the best of trips and just kind of weakened out of it at the end. First race ever. This horse probably needed that race a lot. But, the last 2 were very impressive on this course. I like this horse here today, so he'll be used along with the number 2 horse, Flashy Chelsea. 6-year-old horse by Flashy Bull. Mike Maker trains this one. Jose Ortiz gets the leg up. This horse's most recent outing came on the 1st of March at Gulfstream. Mile 16th, claiming 30. Horse won by a half length that day. was a little bit wide, but was coming up at the end, got the victory. But it was an okay race. I'm not going to say it was the horse's best victory ever, but it was an okay race. Before that, against Tougher in the Connolly, could throw that out a mile and a half at Sam Houston on the 20th of January. Horse finished 8th by 12 and a half lengths. Wide post draw, mile and a half might have been a little bit too far for this horse in that outing. He just weakened out of it. It wasn't ever this horse's day to win there. And then at Gulfstream, mile 16th, Optionals 50 claimer against tough horses. He finished 7th by 5 lengths. Hit the wall that day after stalking. Wasn't his day to win. This horse's best race out of his last few running styles wasn't the win last time out. It was a second place finish, I think, at Kentucky Downs going a mile on the 9th of September. This horse finished second by a nose, but had a great turn of foot at the end after a wide trip. Just missed, but it was a respectable run. I think, like I said, I think that race was a lot better than the win last time out. But after that race, they ran this horse in a very tough stakes race at Remington, where this horse did nothing. Ran in the Skymore at a mile and a half at Keelan, where this horse didn't do a lot. And finished 7th in a tough allowance race at Churchill on the turf in mid-November, where this horse didn't do anything. But in this spot, 3-1, I like this horse's chances here. So watch out. Another horse I like here is number 8 horse. Number 8, lay that pistol down. 9-year-old gelding here by More Than Ready. I read Ortiz Jr.'s on this. Jorge Navarro trained 9-year-old gelding by More Than Ready. This horse's most recent outing came on the 3rd of March at Gulfstream, 7.5, claiming 16. This horse won by 1 1/4 lengths and broke from 11 out of 12, which is hard to do. This horse sat back early, but was wide, of course, from a wide post draw. But had a clear can't speak. Been speaking for 21 minutes, but had a clear foot at the end, clear closing kick at the end, and just took off very nicely. Very nice victory for this horse. Start before 10th of February at Gulfstream, mile 16th, claiming 16. Horse finished second by 4.5 lengths that day. Sat about mid-pack, a little bit wide, but was closing up well at the end, wasn't a bad run, and then claiming 16 at Gulfstream, mile 16th, January 13th. Horse won by 4 1/4 lengths. Another wide post draw. This horse came out well at the end. This horse has proven that this horse could run from wide post draw. 8 out of 10 today. With a good trip, I think this horse could get the victory. Also likes this turf course a lot, so watch out. So to recap my bets for the 11th from Gulfstream, gonna go with the number 1 horse, Bold Daddy. Gonna use the number 2 horse, Flashy Chelsea, and I'm gonna use the 8 horse, Lay the Pistol Down. So 1, 2, 8 for me here at race number 11 from Gulfstream Park. Race number 12 now from Gulfstream Park. It's the final leg of the Pick 6. It's the final race of the championship meet from Gulfstream Park, and after 22 minutes I can't actually speak, but it's time for a drink break. So I don't lose my voice. Today's 12th race, the final race of the meeting. It is a maiden claiming $20,000, purse $26,000. It's for maidens, fills, mares, 3-year-olds, and upwards. Field of 15 horses, 13 through 15 are also eligible, so only 12 could go. The distance of ground of about 1,500 meters, or the distance of ground of 7 1/2 furlongs on the Gulfstream Park turf course. My top 3 horses for this race, I'm going to use the 2 horse Little Miss May, I'm going to use the number 4 horse Play That Tone, and I'm going to use the number 7 horse Led Decky. So 2, 4, 7 for me, 2, 4, 7. First horse we'll be talking about is the number 2 horse Little Miss May, 4-1. Edgar Zayas is on the Steve Caceres train, 3-year-old filly by Revolving Herons. This horse was supposed to run yesterday, but was scratched out of that race to run here. Wasn't also eligible yesterday, so made it into this race instead. But this horse's most recent outing came about 3 weeks ago now, the 14th of March at Gulfstream. Mile 16th and maiden 35. Horse finished 8th by 6 1/4 lengths that day. Was with the leaders early on, and well, actually setting the pace early on, but then just kind of weakened out of it. Wasn't his day to win at the end. I think with a drop down in class, with probably being the main speed in this race, I think this horse can maybe go away with this one. With this race being on the inner portion of the turf course, it's very speed favoring, and I think this horse could take advantage of it. But the start before it came on 10th of February at Gulfstream, 6.5 furlongs mean 12.50. Horse finished second by 2 lengths that day. Didn't break all that well, and sat back early, but got the lead right before in the stretch run about the 3/16 fall, and had it for a little bit, but then got overtaken by Little Bay's Corvette, who just closed up well that day and beat this horse. But I also think I think this horse is a lot better turf horse. The turf outings for this horse were were a little bit better. Before that, Gulfstream 1 mile, December 24th, main 25. Horse finished 6th by 7 lengths. It was a decent race, even for a 6th place finish. She stalked that day. She just kind of hung. She didn't weaken out of it, but she didn't advance. She just stayed there. The other horses just got a little better closing kick, but it wasn't a bad outing. And then maiden 35 at Calder, 7.5 furlongs, November 3rd. This horse finished second by 2 lengths, stalked that day, and closed up well at the end. Wasn't a bad outing. I like this horse here at 4-1, so watch out. I also like the number 4 horse, Play That Tone, 12-1, 3-0 filly by Rote. Luis Saez is on this one. Horse's most recent run came on the 16th of March. They came at Gulfstream, 1 mile, main special weight, 47,000. This horse finished 6th by 6.5 lengths that day. Was setting the pace early on, then just kind of hit the wall. The closers got to this horse that day. Before that, at Gulfstream, 7.5 furlongs, main 20. This horse finished 3rd by 3 lengths, and you set the pace early on, but didn't have the you just really couldn't keep up with them. The horses that just stalked that day took off very nicely. This horse just sat 3rd, but those 2 turf outings were very good races. Well, better than her first outing at Charlestown, going 4.5. She has some front end speed also, and I think she can maybe get away with it on the front end. So watch out for this one. Another horse I like to talk about here is the number 7 horse here, Ledecky. If I had to give you a top pick out of this bunch of horses, it would probably be the 7 horse Ledecky. Eduardo Nunez is on this Kathleen O'Connell trained 4-year-old filly by U.S. Ranger. This horse's most recent outing came on the 8th of March at Gulfstream, so about 3 weeks ago now. 1 mile in main 16. This horse finished second by 3.25 lengths. Was with the pace setters that day, and then just kind of weakened out of it at the end. Wasn't his day to win, but I think coming back to 7.5 today, this horse run a lot better. Start before at Gulfstream Park, 1 mile, February the 15th, main 20. Horse finished 4th by 3.75 lengths. Wide post draw, sent to the lead that day, but went a little bit too fast, and the closers just again got to this horse. And then maiden 20 at Gulfstream, 7.5, January 28th. Horse finished 3rd by 4.25 lengths. Then set the pace that day, but just stalked and ran well at the end. Wasn't a bad run. I like this horse here today, and at 5-1, she should do well. She should do well here today. Somebody tried to call me on my phone, got me off my rhythm for a second. But watch out with this horse here today. So to recap my bets for the 12th from Gulfstream Park, I'm gonna go with the 2 horse Little Miss May. I'm going to go with the 4 horse Play That Tone, and I'm going to use the 7 horse Ledecky. To recap my pick 6 now, I'm going to use the going to race number 7, the first leg of the pick 6, race number 7. I'm going to use the 149, race 7, 149. Race number 8, I'm going to use 1345. Race 8, 1345. Race number 9, I'm going to use 23. Race 9, 23. And race number 10, my single comes in, the number 3 horse. Race number 10, the 3 horse, a single for me. Race number 11, I'm going to use the number 128. Race number 11, the 128. And race number 12, the end off the pick 6, I'm going to use the 247. Race number 12, I'm going to use the 247. This ticket for 20 cents will cost you $43.20. So good luck to everybody, and join me next week here on YouTube for Keeneland opening day. We'll have full previews and selections for every day of the Keeneland meeting, hopefully. So good luck, everybody.